If you want more power, explosiveness, and speed, you only need to master one thing, the 0 to explosive protocol. Ditch the random jumps and exercises you found online and start making real progress with this structured and intelligent training program. In the next 19 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 highest leverage plyometric exercises and the exact progression framework we use to take athletes from zero bounds to maximum vertical. All right, we're going to start off with our first progression, which is for vertical drive. Now, the initial exercise in that series is the counter movement leap continuous. For this exercise, you're going to start off with your feet roughly hip width apart. We're going to have our hands by our hips. Now, to start off, what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands forward, and we're going to sweep our hands back, having our hips come back with us. Then you'll drive up, and then as you go, we're going to think to have our hips come with our hands, so your hands and hips come forward, and then back and forth, cycling that action. So Nate's going to pause now. He's going to show a side view. As he's going, he's going to sink down to roughly a quarter squat position, and then repeat and continuously go as he lands to try to land right into the position to go up into the next one. Now, a common mistake people really make with this continuous version is they land and then they're not in that position to go right into the next one, or they have their arms backwards. So if you can show us backwards arms. So they have their arms forward as their hips go back, and then they go. And this can make it really awkward to get their arms incorporated into the drive, which we really want to own and develop, as it's going to pay off a lot into the future exercises. So that first one we want to hone down. So last time, Nate. So for the counter movement leaps continuous, get your position owned and then gradually build up more intensity with it. All right, now the second exercise in the series is going to be the alternating split squat leaps. So when we're looking at alternating split squat leaps, I'll get Nate to show a side view first. So he wants to take a nice long stance position. As he's doing this, his feet are hip width apart, nice and long, and then he's going to have his arms come down and back with him with his hips, and then he's going to drive up and switch, going back and forth. Now, a few things with this. So if he can pause for a second, he's going to be thinking to go down, but he's not trying to necessarily sink to the very bottom. But he also doesn't want to cut it right at the top. We want to take as long as we need on the ground to get into a good position and to drive up well. Then we want to drive up and have enough time in our top position to switch legs. We're not necessarily thinking to just get up enough to switch legs, but to really emphasize driving up and then switch legs. Commonly when people do this, they'll drive up just enough to switch legs, and it takes away from the real benefits that we're trying to get from this. So as you're going, focus on nice long setup position. We're going to sink down, drive up, and switch. And then if you can, great job. Focus on getting higher and higher and higher and watching where your feet land. We want to have that consistent pattern, not cutting it shorter and shorter, but to find a good position. And again, really watch that width of your position, because a lot of people end up being too narrow and having a hard time with their balance. It's one of the most common mistakes. Now we're going to look at the third exercise in the progression, and that's going to be hops for height. Now, a hop for height means that we're going to be doing one leg and then driving up. So you can see here, Nate's got his one leg down, his arms are back, and he drives up. And then he's going to be using that other leg to help assist in that action. So you can pause for a second. Can you face that wall? And we'll just show it this side. So you can see as the leg action goes in a circular action to help support him as he drives up. So let's see. Great job. Okay. So now with this exercise, commonly, again, people cut it short and they don't finish extending up. We really want to still have that full vertical drive up. And then the other leg assists. We don't want to get into the act of just swinging that leg and having it do it for us. The big focus is vertical drive, and then having the arms swing and assist as well. So we see the other side. So in a vertical hop, he's driving up, and if you get really into it, you can even have that leg pick up and assist you more with it. Woo! Nice job. So that's going to be your vertical drive progression, starting off with those counter movement leaps, then getting into the alternating split squat leaps, and then finishing off with a single leg variation. So take your time, work through them, develop good competency and capacity with it, and then scale up as you feel confident. Now we're going to look at our second progression. This is going to be for the lateral drive series. Now, the first exercise we're going to be starting off with is a half kneeling lateral bound and stick. So we're going to be starting off in a half kneeling position. So one knee down, one knee up. Now in this position, a couple key things to own it well. We're going to be thinking about driving with this leg to go in that direction. Commonly, people really just swing their free leg, but going into the half kneeling position challenges you to really own that. So you see here, Nathan's going to be thinking to drive out into the side and then stick it. Now, as he goes into this next one, what we don't want him to do is to stand up and then drive over. and then push. Instead, we want to drive from that bottom position, thinking, okay, I have something here, and he's trying to stay below it as he comes across. He doesn't want to come up high. His goal is to go straight sideways. So he drives out and sticks it. Now, when he comes back this way and he sticks it, he is trying to A, come back to his starting spot, so see same distance side to side, and then also when he sticks it over there, so he drives out, boom, he wants to own that position. He shouldn't be landing and swinging all over the place, but be able to stay stationary for a good moment. So he drives back, last one, woo, nice, good. So you can adjust the distance that you're going based upon how well you can stick it. Because if you're just landing and flying all over the place, you're not demonstrating the right amount of control that we want in this first level of the progression. Now, once you've owned that well and we're ready for the next level, we're gonna move over to lateral bounds deep. When we're looking at lateral bounds deep, we're gonna be going from one leg to the other leg, side to side, and we're gonna get into a deep range by thinking about touching the inside of our ankle with our opposite hand. So Nate can show us the starting position. So when he's on his leg, he's gonna be touching the inside, and then from here he's gonna be driving out to the side, landing on his other leg, and touching and coming back. Now again, we can look at when we're trying to do this, we're thinking about going straight sideways, not making a giant rainbow shape. And additionally, we don't want to have the swing leg do the majority of the work. It's okay for it to help, but it shouldn't be the thing that actually pushes us across. Exactly. So that big focus is on driving and pushing, propelling us across. So if you can show us a couple bad reps real quickly again. So if you notice that you're swinging your leg first, that's a mistake. You want to almost hesitate with that leg. That way you push first, feel you extend across, and get over there. Whew, those were some big beastie ones. Yeah, nice. If you've done well with that first progression of getting comfortable sticking it, you should be ready to go back and forth between sides. Now, once again, you're feeling really strong and capable, sticking it, driving back immediately from it, having good energy conservation with that, you should be ready for the next level in the progression, and that's going to be lateral bounds with a med ball. Now, as we're looking at a lateral bound with med ball, you're going to be holding that med ball by your chest. We're going to be bringing it across to the side as you load up that leg, and then you're going to bring it across with you as you drive out. So see Nate swings it back, lands, and goes side to side. Great. Pause for a second. Can you turn sideways? So as you're looking at this, you're going to notice that he swings and loads this up, and it accentuates the loading on that leg. And so then you have to drive more, and then it helps as you swing across, and so it encourages us to be able to produce more force, but then also increases the rate of loading that we have when we land. So it's really important that you take time to develop good abilities with this in the earlier steps before you jump to this version. This is a very challenging variation. So that's going to be your lateral drive series. Take your time, work through them. Don't just rush and try to get to the top level. Make sure you're owning those early steps, getting really strong control, and that way you can build up and have good competency, and that way you don't have any issues with it later on. Time for our third progression. This is going to be on horizontal drive. Now Nate's going to get over and get set up. We're going to be first looking at the horizontal leap reset. In this exercise, we're going to be having a bilateral stance, so feet roughly hip width apart. As he begins the exercise, he's going to be thinking to sweep his hands back and his hips come back. He's going to drive his hips and hands forward, and then he's going to be bringing his feet forward and bring them in front to land. So see it? Nailed that. Now, when we start off, so you can start a little bit closer, individuals are going to have initial hesitation because the landing can be really challenging for people at first. So we want to learn to own that. So see at the beginning. That was beautiful. An issue many people have is that they don't bring their feet forward in front of them enough, and so then they struggle and have a hard time with the landing, and they feel like they're falling forward as they land. And it's usually because they didn't get their feet out in front of them, then decelerate and break with. So can we see a bad rep? Exactly. So really take that time to adjust how far you jump based upon your comfort in bringing those feet back forward. Once you get more comfortable with that, you can start to scale up the distance that you're going, and then you can start to progress your efforts, really pushing into it and driving out and covering more distance. Now, once you get really confident with that and you're crushing it, feeling good with the landing, we can go to the next level in the progression, and that's going to be a 1-2 horizontal jump. Now, when we're looking at this, our goal is to develop more comfort and ability on a single leg and cover good distance. So to bridge that gap, we're going to utilize this version where we're going to start off with one leg, swing out and drive, and then we're going to land on two legs. So as you're doing that, You'll see that Nate does a few key things really well here. Number one, he has his one leg free. He swings it back with his hips and his hands come back, and then he drives out and brings both feet forward to then stick that landing. And you can alternate back and forth between sides, really trying to get that dialed in. So you're swinging it back, driving it forward, and getting them out in front of you. As you build comfort and confidence with this, then we can bridge that off and go into our next level of the progression, which is going to be a horizontal hop, which is going to be on just one leg. So when we're looking at the horizontal hop, you're going to be standing on one leg. You're going to swing that leg back, your free leg, and drive out and stick and go on one leg. If you're feeling good with it, then you can carry on and perform multiple repetitions in a row. So you see here, Nate's going to swing that leg free. He's going to bring his one leg out in front of him, land, and then keep going. That's where it gets really hard when you don't have that additional leg to land with. When you're on purely just one leg, you have to extend out and cycle it through quickly to land back under you. So you show a bad rep where you don't do that. You see he's falling forward, and that makes it really difficult. So you got to focus on getting that foot out in front of you. For a lot of people, they want to think to land heel toe, whereas in a lot of traditional jumps, we more so land mid-foot or onto the toes somewhat. Whereas as we're going in this horizontal distance and you get that foot out in front of you, you're going to land more on your heels and then cycle through to your toes. So we say that one more time. Woo, nice. So that's going to be the wrap for the horizontal drive progression. Again, take your time, own that, focus on getting good solid landings, feel comfortable with them, scale up your intensity based upon how well you can do that, and get then into the next level and the next level until you wrap up and feel confident with all of them. Our fourth progression is going to be focusing on ankle stiffness. We're going to start off utilizing the pogo leap. So in this exercise, Nate's going to be standing. He's going to be thinking about driving off, emphasizing using his ankles. Now your knees and hips can help. We're prioritizing the ankles here. So let's see a quick little demo. Now these are fantastic. A few key things that we want to break down this. If you take a side view, you'll notice that as he's going, he's thinking about pulling up his toes. He's not just leaving his toes down. We want to really emphasize that to have a little bit more recoil with that. Second thing that Nate does exceptionally well is his arm action. So as he's going, he's thinking about having his arms on like a little train track, circling around in this nice smooth motion. Nice. And the last thing that he's doing really well that's going to carry over into a lot of different movements is his landing position with his feet. We don't want to land on the toes and we don't want to land on the heels, but land on the mid-foot region. So you see when he's going, he's really trying to land that mid-foot position. Nice, good. So now in the standard pogo leap, we want to try to really focus on those characteristics and then amplify how high we can drive up. So let's see a good hard effort one here. See Nate's really getting some nice good height, driving up. And as he's doing that, he's thinking to stay relatively in the same position. Now, as we go up to the next level in the series, we can look to do a split stance pogo leap. For a pogo leap split stance, we're going to be then taking 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, just slightly. So you see that roughly his back foot lines up with his front heel, and then he's going to stay in that position. From here, we're going to keep the same general pogo leap mechanics. We're going to be trying to drive up, land mid-foot in that front leg. Nice, good arm action, beautiful. Can you switch sides and face me? And you'll see again, he's landing mid-foot in this lead leg, prioritizing and emphasizing the challenge on that foot. Great. So with this, again, get comfortable, own those mechanics, feel like you can really challenge that one leg to a higher degree. We want to focus on utilizing the ankle as much as we can, allowing the knee and the hip to assist, but not be the main drivers in it. Then as we go up to our third level in the progression, we're going to be doing pogo split stance exchanges. So if Nate can give us a quick little demo of a pogo split stance exchange, you'll see that during these, he's going from split stance on one side to split stance on the other side. This is very challenging for a lot of people. As you can see, we want to really own going from that split stance here to other split stance. Commonly what we'll see is people start to exaggerate the length, and that way they can incorporate more knee and hip. What we want to do is limit that and keep the focus on the ankles. Great job. So again, start off, get comfortable with that switch, being able to control and coordinate it well, and then begin amplifying up your efforts in it to get higher and higher. That's going to be the focus points for our ankle stiffness progression, which is going to allow you to improve your overall capacity with that lower leg. So start off with the standard pogo leap, get really confident with it. Once you can go to really hard efforts, maintain all good mechanics, move to that next level, and then repeat until you get to the top level. We're going to look at our fifth progression here. This is going to be on breaking power. We're going to be starting off with the altitude drop. So for this exercise, you're going to be staying on a box. You're going to then walk off and stick your landing. Now, a few key details in the proper execution for this. First thing, when we're on top of the box, we want to walk off, not walk down. So we'll see a bad example here. Commonly, you'll see people step down and then go in their landing position. But when you do that, it takes away the distance that we're actually dropping. So we want to make sure that we're walking off. Second one is the position that we land in. So you see there, Nate had a nice even balance between his knees and hips. Commonly, you'll see people try to land really upright, and it's very uncomfortable. Can you see a bad example? Can we see a good example of the position? So you see here, he's got his knees bent, hips bent, torso at a nice, good, roughly 45-degree angle. So now as he goes up again, right now we're on a medium height box, so you can adjust and experiment the right height for you. Typically, we're going to start people off with a lower height, something around 6 to 12 inches in height, or around 15 to 30 centimeters. Then a medium height will be between roughly 30 and 45 centimeters, around 12 to 16 inches, and then a high would be anything above that. So right now, off this medium height, Nate's going to walk off, stick. Good. Now, if you feel really strong and capable with that, we can move to our second option, which is now going to be the altitude split stance landing. For the altitude split stance, we're going to be stepping up onto a box. Traditionally, when we're doing altitude landing, we're going to be facing forward. Here, we're going to face sideways. And that way, we're going to be able to land beside the box. Now, the first thing that Nate's going to be doing is he's going to have one leg free. He's going to be thinking about bringing that leg forward. And then he's going to be stepping off and bringing his inside leg back. He's going to own that position, and then he's going to repeat. Now, as he does this again, he wants to make sure that he's not stepping down, but stepping off, and then getting that good air time, and then sticking and landing that position. As he does it, you'll notice that he doesn't sink really low into it. We don't want to land and get down into it. We want to land and own that position quickly. Beautiful. I'm just going to move your box back a little bit. Can you show a side view? So you see he comes off and sticks and lands that position. So we're minimizing that time that he's decelerating down, trying to, as soon as his feet land, hit the ground, he can stop. Now with the box height, we can adjust that. Obviously, a shorter box will be easier and a higher box will be more challenging. Most people are going to be in a good, comfortable position for this, with around 6 to 12 inches to start, and then scale up as they build more confidence. Now we can move on to our third exercise in the progression, which is going to be the altitude one-leg landing. So for the altitude one-leg landing, we're going to be standing on a box. We're going to then walk forward, and we're going to stick it on one leg. Beautiful. Now, a few key things for good execution here. Number one, we want to walk forward, not walk down. So we see walking down. Exactly. We want to minimize that. We're trying to maximize the time that we're utilizing with the box. If you're uncomfortable walking directly off, you should be using a lower box. So as he steps off, he then sticks it. And again, you'll see Nate's position. Here, he's got his knee bent, hip bent, and torso at roughly a 45-degree angle. If we land really upright, we're going to be in a position that doesn't optimize absorbing that force really well. And so when we go, you want to stick it, stop quickly, not sink super low. Can we see a bad example where you sink into it? Exactly. It's very uncomfortable and awkward. So work on trying to own that position, land quickly, and that way you can scale up from there. For a lot of individuals, starting off with a lower box height, something around 6 inches is a good starting point. And then gradually, as you feel more comfortable with it, scaling it up over time. Now, if you want the entire Zero to Explosive protocol, smash the link below and we'll send it to your inbox. See you in the next video.